check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
So last week I casually put on The Incredibles while making dinner with the GOAT, my mom. It was supposed to be just background noise, but I should have known better than to put on The Incredibles and not want to watch every second of this amazing film. It's probably my favorite Pixar movie, and objectively speaking, at least a top 5 Pixar movie. But it's 2020, and if you don't know that by now, well, I don't know what to tell you. But when I was watching it this time around, I was kind of mesmerized. Now, I am no film expert. My film education is currently my fair share of film critic YouTube and secondhand screenwriting knowledge when my friends took a screenwriting class my freshman year of college. But it doesn't take a genius to see why The Incredibles is such a masterpiece. After watching it this time around, I've kind of had this burning desire to talk about it, but I didn't want to beat a dead horse and brag on a movie that's definitely been bragged about plenty enough on here. But after thinking some more, I did find something during this watch that I found worthy to talk about. I realized the beauty of one of the side characters. Now, this movie is already chock full of great characters, both leads and supporting. But the character I came to truly appreciate this time around was Violet. The soft-spoken eldest Parr child, Violet ends the movie as a confident teenager who embraces using her gifts to make the world better. She doesn't have the most screen time, and it's definitely not her movie, but her transformation is really special. So let's dig into Violet's character journey a bit and see how Violet may have the most powerful character arc in The Incredibles.
To have superheroes that are have these amazing abilities and yet have the same insecurities that all of us do.
In the world of The Incredibles, we are presented with characters who embrace superhuman abilities. Even with the events that put the supers into hiding, it was more about how they use their abilities to save people rather than purely having them a la mutants and X-Men. The people with powers in this movie are proud of their abilities. Well, everyone except Violet. In the beginning of the film, she is presented as a normal, shy, moody, boy-loving teenager. As basic as a teenager can get without, 24/7 TikToking. She's a reserved girl and wants nothing more than to fit in with the masses.
What does anyone in this family know about normal?
Now, wait a minute, young lady.
We act normal, Mom. I want to be normal.
And that's why deep down, she doesn't like or even want superhuman abilities. They are a burden that prevent her from being normal. While she still uses her abilities, she uses them sparingly and is definitely different from her family who see their abilities as gifts. Dash loves being fast. I mean, who wouldn't? Super speed is the best power if you didn't know. And Helen and Bob were well-renowned superheroes. Violet is definitely the odd person out, not just in the world, but even in her whole family. Now, as the plot progresses, if you don't remember, Mr. Incredible does some moonlight superhero stuff. Helen gets suspicious and chases after him, suspicious that he's cheating. We get a really pivotal moment for Violet. Her and Dash sneak on the Helen's jet, curious to see what is going on in their family, and more importantly, why do they all have matching superhero suits now? But pandemonium ensues when Syndrome fires missiles at their aircraft. Helen dodges some missiles and pleads that she's a friendly aircraft, but it's all to no avail as the missiles keep getting closer and closer. Thinking of last resorts, Helen tells Violet,
Put a force field around the plane!
and not just any force field, a giant force field to cover the whole plane. Now, a giant force field is already a lot to ask of someone with experienced powers, but even more of an ask for Violet, who's a novice with her powers and not the most confident in herself to begin with. What follows is a heartbreaking shot of Violet desperately trying to save her family from almost certain death, but knowing that she can't do it. So even though Helen saves them from the missiles, Violet is left visibly disturbed knowing that when her family needed her the most, she couldn't save them. That's a heavy thought for someone who is only 14, but it serves as a huge turning point for her character.
Enabled us to make Helen the pilot, which I think amped up missile lock.
When Helen and the kids get to the island, it's a situation Violet and Dash have never been in before, and Helen makes it crystal clear with them that the missiles weren't a fluke. These people will kill you, period. Dash and Violet are kids, neither of them over 14, put in a life and death situation with very little experience with their abilities. You can only imagine how these kids are feeling, especially Violet, who feels like she almost got them killed. Before Helen leaves to find Bob, she and Violet have a heart-to-heart, and she tells Violet something that really speaks to her.
You have more power than you realize. Don't think. And don't worry. If the time comes, you'll know what to do. It's in your blood.
Now, Helen seems like a fabulous mom who has always told her kids she believed in them. But sometimes it just takes certain moments for things to click. Helen telling Violet she has power and believes in her is exactly what Violet needs to hear. Violet went to talk to her mom to apologize to her for not putting up a force field, and Helen not only assured her that it wasn't her fault, but also told her she has the utmost confidence that when the time comes, she'll know what to do. Let's give a round of applause for an amazing mom moment right there. Woo! But also realize how this is the turning point for Violet's character. And it's some of the small details in the scene that really show how this is a transformative moment for Violet. The music swells. Violet lets her hair get out of her eyes as it has been the whole entire movie, and intentionally accepts the hero's mask. From this moment forward, she's going to be confident and protect her family when needed. She's going to be a hero.
And it's the worst when you want something, but you know you just got no leg to stand on.
Right. After accepting the mask, we see a newly invigorated Violet. She's not hiding anymore, which is shown by the clever imagery of having Violet's mask preventing her from having her eyes hidden before her hair as it was previously. She actively has to make the decision to either wear the mask or go back to being how she was before, and she chooses the former. It doesn't take long for this new Violet to spring into action. She fights Syndrome's henchmen, begins harnessing her force fields, and really starts becoming the hero Helen said she could be. I really appreciate that even though Violet is more confident, we don't see her instantly becoming a master with her powers. When fighting Syndrome's henchmen, she's just trying to survive, and when she harnesses the force field, it's because of a fight or flight reaction when trying to save her brother from being shot. And think about this, Violet wasn't even trying to make a force field. She was going to take a bullet for her brother. Wow. This is a totally different Violet. What's even cooler is as the Parr family's journey continues, Violet becomes the family MVP. When the family gets captured and it looks like all is lost again, she uses her force field to escape Syndrome's mechanism and frees everyone, which allows the family to get to Metroville and save the day. Then, in an amazing callback to Violet's lowest moment in her journey, the family is faced with another split-second life or death moment when Syndrome's plane blows up after he is sliced by the plane's rotors. Wow, okay, this movie is really dark. But this time, Violet is ready and springs up a force field to do what she couldn't do before and save her family from the burning rubble, leaving the audience and Helen really proud.
That's my girl.
Going back to the beginning of this film, this girl and this girl couldn't be farther from night and day. We even get to see a newly confident Violet ask out the boy she was hiding from earlier in the movie, showing everyone this confident Violet is here to stay. And if that character arc doesn't inspire you, I don't know what does.
Structure-wise, I understood perfectly that it was a bumpy structure, but it always felt right to me emotionally, and I was sorry to see it go.
And the craziest part about it all is she's strictly a supporting character. This is Mr. Incredible's story, and he has an amazing journey learning about the superheroism of being a father. But I really think Violet has a case of being a better character arc. She does more with less, has a strong message, and while Bob kills the robot, Violet does save the family from a fiery death. You could debate things like this forever, but there is no denying that Violet is an amazing character who deserves a bit more spotlight.